Writers Retreat Podcast, episode 3. I'm so excited that you all are here, and I'm honestly so grateful that you guys are choosing to spend time with me today. I know that Wednesdays especially, I don't know why, but they usually are super hectic, and it's the middle of the week, and sometimes we can get kind of like bogged down with life and, still being at work for another week and stuff like that. Or for my husband, at least for right now, his Wednesday is his Monday, so it can be kind of like a drag, but I'm so thankful that you guys are here and listening, and I just really hope that you guys can get something out of this. So thank you so much for being here. Last week we did skip the podcast, but I promise we will get into the highlights in just a minute. Just remember that anytime you miss a podcast, or if we happen to not upload that week, you can always head over to SoundCloud or YouTube to catch up and get encouragement from our past episodes. Even if you've heard it before, sometimes re-listening to things helps us retain or act on it a little bit more. At least I know that's true for me. I do sometimes re-listen to, books on tape or podcasts or movies or, YouTube videos just to kind of get it cemented in my brain a little bit more. So that's a tip from me to you. Last week, we discussed feeling unmotivated to create and some ways to dive into it even if you're not really feeling like it in the moment. Tips like starting earlier so you don't have to go through a whole day and feel drained by the time you sit down to write, and realizing that writing anything is better than writing nothing. Even a few words is better than no words. It's a head start, and you get to come back to your next writing session with those words written down as opposed to coming back without them. So that's always a good thing, right? This week we are going to be talking about finishing what we start. This can honestly be applied to anything in life, whether it's writing, cleaning, planning, organizing, you name it. You'll hear this a lot from me, but it's all about mindset and creating non-negotiables. But we'll dive into all of that in a little bit. Right now, we want to go over some exciting APH highlights. So as I mentioned, and as you probably already know, last week there wasn't an episode, but that's because Arbuckle Publishing House is officially a business. It has officially become a business with the state of Texas, and as of January 13th, 2020, APH is a fully functioning and running as a business. With that came a lot of paperwork though, and running around, setting up accounts and making sure that the tax stuff was all filled out properly. And since I am absolutely terrified to do any of those things because they're super scary and super important and I don't want to do any of them wrong, I didn't have the brain space to think about anything else. And unfortunately, that did include the podcast. I hope you all can understand, and I'm thankful that you guys are tuning in this week to get some more encouragement. So thank you for your understanding and your patience. In the meantime, though, we officially signed some of our authors like Catherine Komp, who is making such headway in her novel Breaking Order. She's starting on book 2 right now, which I cannot wait to dive into, and pre-orders for her novel will be available on Amazon, so stay tuned for that date. As we talked about last week, Diamonds Out of Dust is coming out on March 13th. I am so excited and super nervous and terrified, but very, very excited. And I do have one last beta reader that is going through it. After she's done, then I will be ordering a print copy for myself just to edit through, and for my editor and co-owner, Elle Albano, to be going through that as well. At that time, pre-orders will be out, and as always, I will be letting you guys know here on the podcast and on our social medias, so make sure that you are signed up for that and that you tune in every week. Recently, APH started working with a shop called Books and Bubbles. Owner Jessica makes book-related bath bombs, soaps, candles, and more for book releases and giveaways. We are so excited to be joining forces with this wonderful woman. Go check out her Instagram. It's books.n.bubbles to see her amazing creations and give her a like. Not only is she the sweetest, but she makes amazing products that I know you guys are going to love. We are currently working on the release of Diamonds with her creations, as well as some APH products that I know you guys are going to totally enjoy. There's nothing like cuddling up with a good book in a relaxing bath or on the couch and having beautiful smelling, awesome candles and bath bombs and soaps surrounding you to kind of put in the tone of the book. It's very exciting, and I cannot wait for you guys to get your hands on these products, so please stay tuned for that as well. Believe it or not, we're already coming to the end of the month, which is crazy. I cannot believe that we are already talking about January being over. So don't forget to sign up for the monthly newsletter at arbucklepublishinghouse.com. That's ARBUCKLE publishinghouse.com and go to the contacts page. From there, you're going to scroll down to the bottom, put your name and email address, and then you'll be in the loop for all of our announcements, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Our February letter is going to be jam-packed with some awesome news, highlights, encouragement, and announcements. So make sure that you have your email in for that. I personally send out the emails, so I promise I'm not going to be spamming you. You are only going to get the one email a month, so you don't have to worry about checking your mailbox every day or dinging every couple hours. I promise that is not what we do here at APH, so you don't have to worry about that. As always, you can get news on our social media platforms, mainly Instagram, so don't forget to find us and follow. Okay, so now that that's all out of the way, it's time to talk about this week's topic, finishing what we start. I can't tell you how many times I've started a project, gotten a little bit into it, maybe a few chapters, and then got another brilliant idea and switched gears to that story, leaving my once exciting topic behind. Or switching focus here, starting laundry and putting all the clean clothes on my bed, and then getting tired halfway through and not putting the rest of them away. I either put them all back in the basket or I sleep on them. Yep, you heard me right. Sleeping on top of my clean clothes for like days. This used to happen a lot more when I was single and it was just me and my closet full of outfits that I thought I needed, but it has transformed into a beast as I've gotten older. While we want to think that this is okay to have these ideas and to switch gears and to stay excited about a topic for a little while and not really finishing things, some people even call it healthy. It's honestly the opposite. How satisfied are you when you start a task, simple or not, and don't finish it? We feel like a failure, right? I know someone, I'm not going to say her name because I'm not sure if she'd want me to tell you this, but she wrote for her whole life, never finishing a story. An intriguing idea would pop in her head and she would start writing it out about 10 chapters in, then stop and start on something else. And for years, she never even considered herself a writer. In fact, she felt like she was a terrible writer because she would never finished a project. Her passion was there, but her follow-through lacked, causing her to feel like she was never going to get to her dream. It took many years, but eventually I convinced her to just finish. If it's garbage, but at least give the story a chance to be something. Be garbage, be brilliant. Either way, it's something. It's finished. She did this, and I was so proud of her, and ended up publishing it as her debut novel. And everyone, I mean everyone, who read it, loved it. She has even had people from her past go out and buy it and tell her that it was amazing. People she hasn't talked to in years are in conversation with her now about when her next book is going to come about. My point here is that if you don't give yourself, your story, your task, a chance, you're never going to feel good enough to move to the next level. You'll psych yourself out and convince yourself that you're just not good enough or worthy enough or knowledgeable enough to conquer that list. Again, this could be something as simple as dishes in the sink or something as big as going to Orca Island and kayaking with the wild orcas. This is literally my dream, and I've been working myself up to get to that level of strength in order to do it to come true, but it's been on my mind a lot lately, so that's why that came out. A little random, but I swear in my head it makes sense. The exciting thing about having goals that you can check off, big or small, is that it gives you this inward confidence that you can do what you put your mind to. Going off rails just a little bit, I finally put all the clean clothes away this morning on hangers, color-coded and order and length. And let me tell you, I feel so much better about today. I cleaned up my entire room, which wasn't on the agenda, and it was kind of like a domino effect. Every little piece that I cleaned up, I ended up cleaning up more and more and more, and it ended up all the stuff that had been on my checklist for, I can't even tell you how long, I want to say like a week, maybe even longer, was getting done little by little just because I was already on the roll. I honestly feel like I can tackle my whole day now and take a nap because let's be honest, naps are awesome. That confidence only grows when you look back and you see that you did do something that you may never have thought that you would have done. Back to the writing level, I wrote 2 novellas from the same story thinking that was all I was capable of. A full-length novel was something I only dreamed of. I never thought I would actually get 50,000 words plus on a page. How do I even keep people engaged for that long? But Elle and my husband told me that I could. I finally decided that I would at least try, at the very least, attempt to get an engaging story from point A to point B with a subplot and everything. If it was trash, well, then at least I knew where I was and I could work from there. I'm now working on my third novel. Because guess what? I know I can make that word count now. I know I can reach that level because I've already done it twice now. This time I'm reaching for a higher word count because I want to push myself. But even if I fail, I still have a full-length novel written. So it's honestly a win-win. Our motivational saying this week that I want you to take with you until our next meeting on the podcast is shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you will land among the stars. And that was said by Les Brown. There is no harm in trying. So a few tips, because that's why we're here, right? Not just to know the problem, that's only half the battle, but to know ways to conquer that problem. That's how we practice discipline and move forward. Number 1, make a deadline. I said it, the dreaded D word, deadline. If you give yourself a time frame, it's going to show you that every day you have to work on this goal or you'll run out of time, and no one wants to get to that end date and feel that level of hopelessness. I'll share this with you because I do try to be pretty transparent on here. I have a deadline of November 14th of this year to either run a 5K or be signed up for a 5K. That means every week I have is super important. I have to work on this goal every single day in order to meet that deadline. Which then brings me to tip number 2. Have rewards or consequences. So you can make a deadline, but what does that even mean? Nothing, unless you A, talk about it with an accountability partner, which I totally recommend, or B, have a reason to meet that date. Going back to my 5K, I've wanted some really good Bluetooth headphones, like for a long time. I hate cords, so having some good Bluetooth earbuds has been on my list for I can't even tell you how long. But they're really expensive, at least the good ones are, and I can't justify spending somewhere up to $80 on them right now. I'm not good at spending money on myself in general, but especially for something that big. But my promise to myself is, if I run a 5K and finish, I'll treat myself to some awesome Bluetooth wireless earbuds. That is my motivation when I'm out sweating on a run and wanting to give in to my aching calves. The consequence is that I don't get new headphones. The ones I have now that are staticky and not working very well at all will be my only source of listening entertainment, which I don't want to happen. But in order for me to get from now until November, I have to do one thing, which brings us to tip number 3. Chip a little bit away each day. You can't expect to wake up on your deadline and have it all done if you snooze the last few months away. You can't expect to cram it all in the week before your self-appointed deadline. If you want to write your novel by November and don't start until October, you have a serious problem in front of you. Chances are you won't finish, and if you do, it won't be the quality that you were hoping for. Therefore, you have to chip away a little bit each day. Make a schedule and break that down into smaller tasks and do your best to meet them every single day. Now, when that date comes, you're not only in a routine, which is awesome, but you've gotten so much done already that you know that you can do it. The finish line is just ahead. Lastly, tip number 4 is believe in yourself. That's right. I'm going to say it again. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. See yourself in your mind's eye crossing that finish line. Meditate on it. Think about it every single day. Use it as motivation to get through the day-to-day toughness of this task. I recently watched this movie called Brittany Runs a Marathon. I had seen the commercials for it and thought, oh, that's cute, kind of just dismissive. But how can you make a whole movie out of somebody running a marathon? I gotta tell you, I love this movie and I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime. I'm sure you can find it. It's really, really good. It's motivational, real, and super touching, especially to people who have struggled with their weight their whole lives like I have myself. In this, Brittany has a goal to run the New York City 26-mile marathon, a true dream of mine, but baby steps. And while she's working out, she closes her eyes and she sees herself running that race. Now, obviously, she's barely able to get around the block, but she's able to prepare for that time by seeing and knowing she's going to get there. This is how we conquer the tasks, goals, and dreams that we want to see come into fruition. It's one thing to set the goal, it's another thing to believe that you can actually reach that goal. And that's something that is an inward strength that we have to work on every day, or we're not going to meet those goals. And those dreams are just going to be that, a dream. With that, I'd like to challenge you this week. Finish your tasks, all of them that you start, or at least commit to finishing them and follow through. If it's a big task, that's okay. Chip a little bit of it away every single day. Give yourself a deadline and meet it. Give yourself some consequences and some rewards and know that you're going to be able to do it. If it's a smaller task like laundry, vacuuming, or dishes, then finish them. Don't allow yourself to stop. Give yourself a chance to be that person. It's scary to go out of your comfort zone and follow through with your dreams. As silly as it sounds, we're used to not meeting our goals. There's a sadness to it, but there's also a huge fear of actually meeting them because now you're in a land of unknown. Whereas not meeting them is kind of like a security blanket. You know where you're going to end up because you've already been there. Don't let fear win. Don't let fear be the reason nothing changes because you deserve better. You were made for more, and you can do this. You can make those dreams come true. So finish what you've started because you've started that task, story, or dream for a reason. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I pray that this keeps you motivated and moving forward on your dreams and goals. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, all the things to help me know that this has helped you and that you want more of this kind of content. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you back here on Wednesday. Happy writing and happy reading, everyone. Bye.